Ray Wolfgang here. Hey, are you facing a situation where you need to bring some healthy boundaries to your systems engineering career? Maybe you've negotiated with your manager about some scope that doesn't seem quite right, and you're not getting anywhere. Okay, well in this post, you're going to learn when you go to dialogue, when maybe you go to crucial conversations and have that, when you go to the Townsend and Cloud book to really make sure we're using the right skills, and then when you elevate to human resources or a different manager or a mentor. And the bonus tip you're going to get is to get a mentor who is not in your direct chain of command. So like it's not your manager, not your senior manager or director. Now, a lot of times, if we have too much tasking, okay, we're given way too much tasking that can be completed, we'll negotiate, okay, and we'll set a healthy boundary, and we'll be honest about what we can and cannot do. We've got to do that so management has a chance to find other resources or to just find someone else. In fact, I can envision a time where someone came in and they asked me to jump in on this training development team. And it was in my area, but it wasn't really part of my day job. It says, hey Ray, we want your expertise. Basically I said, hey, I just can't take it on right now. And I thought they'd be upset. I tend to be people pleasing if I'm not careful. That is my default. But so I said no, and they're like, okay, well, we'll find someone else. Or they just moved on without me. Hey, which is great. Now, if it's a little more serious, okay, let's say you've had conversations with your management about saying, hey, this takes a month, you've given me these other priorities, if stuff is falling off the plate, then I would do things in 3 steps. 1, just have the conversation and be blunt with your manager, him or her, saying, hey, look, I have a tasking situation where I cannot execute on the schedule that you've given me. Can we have a dialogue? And if they get angry, they get blustered, that's one thing. But in my experience, 8 times out of 10, maybe 9, they'll have that conversation. And if they're concerned about our performance, then maybe we can have that talk. Maybe we need new skills, or maybe we need to rearrange our day. For a while, I was on a bunch of committees, and I had to drop some of those to focus on the day job. So again, things could be in our lane, but we need that frank dialogue. Okay, that's 1. If that doesn't work, then we need to go to our mentor. And that leads to the bonus tip of please get a mentor of some sort. You don't have to meet regularly, but just someone who maybe you meet with even a couple times a year, and just kind of keep him or her informed about, hey, I have this situation, or here's where I'm at on the program, so that if you do have a real urgency, you can call them up. I have one, and we don't meet often, but I could call them up and say, hey, can I get 15 minutes of your time really dealing with this problem, short time frame. A lot of times, even though they're reasonably, mid-level management, they're busy, they'll fit me in, and we have this context. Okay, they know a little bit about me. I want that for you. I want you to be able to go to someone in your group where you can have a conversation of, hey, I'm having trouble. I have tasking, but I don't see it happening, and I'm having trouble with talking to my manager about it. This is why it's so important for the mentor to be outside of your department, and preferably 2 levels up. I'm mid-level staff, so I'm fortunate enough I have a level 2 manager mentor who I can go to, not all the time, but I can go to in a pinch and get some good advice from him. Sometimes I try and bring something to the mentorship relationship, like maybe I can serve on a committee that you care about, or maybe I can mentor some of your more junior engineers. This is to my mentor, just so I can offer something in return. I can't always, and a lot of times people understand, hey, mentorship is sometimes, not all, but sometimes it's one way. So some people understand it. The onus is on me, of course, to pay it forward, and I'll mentor a few junior engineers and help them out. But the mentorship is key. Okay, so if going to the mentor doesn't work, if somehow you go back to your manager and the manager just says, hey, we have 3 people to complete 6 people's worth of work, and that's just it, we need to buck up, toughen up, then it would need to elevate possibly to a human resources situation. Now, I always like to suggest that as a last resort, particularly if the boundary involves any kind of like harassment or discrimination, either gender, orientation, or ethnicity, or veteran status. If someone's giving you a hard time on that. That's human resources territory. But if it looks like you will consistently fall short of what you're being asked to do, that's going to hurt your long-term career if you don't bring in, some people promptly. And ideally, it's the mentor. But if you need to go to an ombudsman or human resource and saying, "Hey, look, I have a situation that's not winnable," again, tell your manager that, "Hey, I can't execute on this. I feel we're not communicating." Tell them you're going to get some outside opinions. Don't blindside anyone. Sometimes that'll bring them to the table. But so let people know. We need to be transparent, but we also need to be honest about, hey, I have to set the healthy boundary here, and I'm going to have to talk to my mentor about this. Or even worst case, hey, this feels like it's human resources territory. What do you think? Okay. Again, don't just hit them with the HR mallet, but if it needs to go there, it needs to go there. And better that than just hope it gets better, and then in 6 months, your management's told everyone, "Oh, Raymond's going to do all this." It doesn't happen, and then it's a lot harder to fix. So again, healthy boundaries are important. 99 times out of 100, you'll be able to have that conversation with your manager or a mentor to brainstorm and get a solution that works for both of you. Occasionally, you will need to go to human resources. Again, that's rare. That's a last resort. But if we don't set the boundary, we're just going to be working crazy hours and then still be late. And now we have a real pickle. And other people start to think, well, I guess we can't count on him because he can't estimate his work correctly. So comment below what you think. Do you have a different sequence? Do you have different ideas? Let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next tip.